What if I told you, the reason you're not her priority has far less to do with her and almost everything to do with how you're living your life right now? Think about it. You keep bending over backward, trying to impress her, trying to squeeze yourself into her world, hoping she finally sees your worth. But here's the painful truth. It's not working. You're being ghosted, ignored, and quietly treated like nothing more than an option. But let me be honest with you, chasing her approval is the wrong game. The only approval that truly matters is your own. And if you keep moving through life as if you're replaceable, people will treat you exactly that way, like you're expendable. Welcome to the harsh reality. Now, what if I told you there's a way to flip the script completely, not by pretending, not by playing shallow games, but by adopting a mindset so powerful it has shaped men for over 2,000 years. This is the mindset that turns the tables and makes you the prize. It's called Stoicism, the timeless art of mastering your emotions, becoming untouchable, and placing yourself as the true priority. Because here's the secret. Once you step into the man you were always meant to be, she will fight to stay in your life, not the other way around. Today, I'm going to share with you a perspective that could completely shift the way you view relationships. You'll learn how to ensure you're always the priority, never just the backup option. But I'll warn you now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This message is for men who are done being treated like an afterthought. I'm not here to hand you tricks, shortcuts, or manipulative games. We're going deep into psychology and philosophy, the kind of wisdom that can transform you into the man every woman truly desires. And here's the best part. You won't need to chase, beg, or twist yourself into someone you're not. For years, society has fed you lies. They told you to be nice, to always be available, to bend over backward and put her on a pedestal. But how has that worked out for you? You're still ignored, ghosted, and left feeling like a safety net. It's time to stop being her fallback and start living as her priority. And no, this doesn't mean treating her poorly. That's not strength, that's weakness. What it really means is treating yourself with more respect. Because here's the truth. Women don't crave the guy who's always waiting around. They're drawn to the man who's fully immersed in his own life, who lives on his own terms, who respects himself enough to set boundaries. Why? Because deep down, they're wired to admire and respect men who are in control of themselves. And that's exactly what we're going to master today. So, let's dive in. Let's uncover the truth about why you keep ending up as the backup, and how you can finally break free from being her plan B. Because here's the first thing you need to understand. The reason you're not her priority is simply you're acting like you're not one. She knows you'll be there no matter what. If she cancels plans, disappears for days, or suddenly reappears when it's convenient, you're still waiting, loyal and eager. What does that show her? That you're her safety net, the backup plan she can lean on whenever the better option doesn't show up. Let me ask you, if you truly valued yourself, would you accept that kind of treatment? Of course not. Men who understand their worth don't wait around to be treated like an option. And here's the hardest part 2. Admit it's not her fault. It's yours. You've handed her all the power by being constantly available, by showing too much eagerness, by proving through your actions that she can take you or leave you. In her eyes, you're plan B, because while she's chasing after someone she sees as high value, maybe even a man who barely gives her any attention, she knows you'll still be right there, ready to catch her when things fall through. But here's where everything changes. The biggest reason she treats you like a backup is because you've allowed it. You've acted like her plan B. And here's the most brutal part. You've been waiting around for scraps of her attention. And deep down, you know it. You've allowed yourself to be treated like an afterthought. Why? Because you're terrified of losing her. But here's the truth. You need to face by letting her disrespect your time. You already lost the game. Women simply don't respect men who make themselves too available. Respect is born from scarcity. Think about it. When something is rare, it instantly becomes more valuable. Yet here you are, texting back within seconds, being the first to call, saying yes to every little thing she wants. So let me ask you, how can she respect you when you clearly don't even respect your own time? Stop being the doormat she wipes her feet on. If she's not treating you like a priority, then it's on you to show her that your life is bigger than her presence in it. The moment you do that, everything changes. You stop being an option, and you become a man she's compelled to chase. But here's where the truth cuts even deeper. It's not just about her. If you've been stuck in the backup role in your relationships, chances are you're living that same role in other areas of your life too. At work, in friendships, Even with family, you keep putting everyone else's needs above your own. And why do you do it? Because you'd been conditioned to believe that being nice, endlessly available, and always accommodating would finally get you what you want. But tell me, has that worked? No. In the real world of relationships, nice guys finish last. Not because kindness itself is wrong, but because excessive availability and over-accommodation scream weakness. They signal to everyone around you that you don't actually value yourself. And here's the key: if you don't value yourself, how on earth can you expect her to value you? This brings us to the next principle. Number 2, the power of emotional detachment. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, aren't we supposed to be emotionally available? And yes, you should be. But there's a difference. Emotional availability doesn't mean surrendering control of your emotions. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not controlled by her reactions or behavior. Here's the harsh reality. The moment she realizes she can control your emotions, she owns you. If she can make you anxious, jealous, or desperate just by ignoring your texts or canceling plans, she holds the power and you're finished. But when you master emotional detachment, you take the power back. Imagine this. You're texting a girl and suddenly she goes cold. No emojis, no playful energy, just flat, one-word replies. Most guys, they'd spiral. They'd overanalyze every word, replay the last conversation in their head, wonder endlessly what they did wrong. But not you. Why? Because you understand her behavior is about her, not you. Emotional detachment allows you to stay calm and confident. No matter what she does, she doesn't reply. No big deal, you're busy anyway. She cancels plans at the last second. You've got better things to do. Your mood doesn't rise and fall based on her attention. And this right here is what makes you irresistible. Women crave stability in a chaotic dating world. When you master emotional detachment, you become the rock, the anchor she can't shake. But here's the kicker. Emotional detachment isn't just about handling her, it's about handling yourself. The moment you stop chasing validation from women, you free your mind. Suddenly, your energy shifts toward what actually matters. Your goals, your passions, your greater purpose. And here's the undeniable truth. Women are drawn to men on a mission. A man who knows his purpose is a man who cannot be controlled. And that's where the real transformation begins. So now that you've seen how emotional detachment makes you stronger and harder to control, let's take it a step further. Because the next shift you need is just as powerful, and it's what truly separates men who are respected from men who are discarded. Number 3, setting stoic boundaries that demand respect. Here's the reality about boundaries. If you don't set them, she will. And trust me, her boundaries won't be designed with your best interest in mind. Most men make a huge mistake here. They think boundaries mean being controlling, acting rude, or trying to dominate her. That's not it at all. Real boundaries are about one thing: self-respect. It's about sending a clear message that you value yourself, your time, and your energy enough to say no when something doesn't align with you. Picture this. She texts you at 11 p.m. asking to hang out. No plans, no effort, just a last-minute call. If you drop everything and rush to her place, what message are you sending? That her whims control you. That your life, your schedule, your priorities all take second place to her late-night convenience. But what if you responded differently? Something as simple as, "Sorry, I'm busy tonight. Let's plan for tomorrow." That one sentence changes everything. You've just drawn a line in the sand that says, "My time is valuable, and I'm not here for last-minute booty calls." That's a boundary. And here's the beauty of it. Boundaries don't just protect you. They also force her to respect you. Because make no mistake, women will test your boundaries. They'll push, they'll pull, they'll try to see what they can get away with. And if you allow her to walk all over you, respect will vanish. And when respect disappears, attraction goes right with it. But boundaries aren't limited to saying no to late-night texts. They expand into every area of your life: your time, your energy, your emotional investment. You need to decide clearly and unapologetically what you will and will not tolerate in a relationship. For example, if you're dating a woman who's still exploring her options, talking to multiple men while stringing you along, it's on you to set the standard. You say, "I'm not interested in being one of many. Either we're exclusive, or I'm out." That's a boundary. And if she refuses to respect it, you walk away. No drama, no long debates, just calm certainty. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't settle for less. And this leads us directly into the next. Truth. Number 4. Why actions speak louder. See, in today's dating world, too many men talk themselves out of respect. They text endlessly. They over-explain. They pour out their feelings in long essays, trying desperately to convince her that they're different, that they're the good guy. But here's the brutal truth. Women don't care about what you say, they care about what you do. You think you're making progress when you tell her how serious you are about her, or how deeply you care. But to her, it's just background noise. Empty words. Because she's heard it all before. Lines like, I'm different, I'm serious about you, I'm not like the other guys. Every man has said it, and while you're talking, she's silently thinking, let's see if he can actually prove it. That's the reality you need. DeGrasse talking doesn't impress her. Actions do. You could write her a 100-page letter about your feelings, but it would never mean as much as one simple act that demonstrates integrity. When your actions are consistent, decisive, and aligned with your words, you're sending her a powerful message that you're a man of substance. A man who doesn't need to explain himself because he lives his truth. A man who simply gets things done. Think about it. Are the men women are naturally drawn to the ones who spend their days glued to their phones, firing off compliments and chasing for validation? Or are they the men who move with quiet confidence, who let their lives speak louder than any promise? And that brings us to an even deeper truth you need to understand. Now let's take that further, because the men women admire most aren't the ones explaining themselves. They're the ones proving their value through what they do. They're the guys who follow through without needing to justify every move. The men who stayed calm, composed, and unshaken because they don't seek her validation. Why? Because their validation already comes from their own actions, their own successes, and the life they're building. And that's exactly who you need to become a man of action. Number 5. Master the art of mystery. Here's the truth. Most men ignore women, don't want a man who's an open book from page 1. If she knows exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you'll say, and exactly what you'll do, her curiosity fades. And once curiosity dies, so does attraction. That's why mystery is so powerful. Sadly, it's also an art most men have completely lost. We live in a world where everyone overshares. Every thought, every emotion, every tiny update gets blasted out instantly. And if she can predict your every move, she'll mentally file you away as just another guy. The second you become that predictable, you've already lost her interest. Now, let me be clear, I'm not telling you to lie, to play games, or to create fake stories. What I am telling you is this: stop being so predictable. Predictability is the silent killer of attraction, especially in the early stages of dating. Think about it. There are men out there texting her good morning every single day, good night every evening, and updating her on every little thing in between. What they ate for lunch, where they're sitting, what show they're watching. They think it's romantic, but to her, it's repetitive, it's suffocating. It kills curiosity, the very fuel that keeps attraction alive. Now imagine this. She texts you, hey, what are you doing tonight? Most guys would leap at the opportunity to tell her every detail, hoping she'll join them. They'll write, just watching TV, maybe ordering food. Want to come over? But a man who understands mystery answers differently. He says something like, got a few things going on. Might be out later. How about you? What happened in that moment? You created intrigue. Instead of laying out your entire evening, you left space for her imagination to work. That little bit of uncertainty sparks her curiosity. She begins to think about you, to wonder what you're up to replay the conversation in her mind. And the more she wonders, the more she invests. You've planted a seed of curiosity, and that's the key. You want to be the man she's constantly trying to figure out, the one who lingers in her thoughts long after the conversation ends. Because here's the truth. If she knows where you are, what you're doing, and how you feel every second of the day, you become predictable, and predictable men are forgettable. Attraction is born in the unknown. She's not lying awake at night fantasizing about the guy who texts her every 5 minutes. She's fantasizing about the man who's a little harder to pin down. The man who's living his own life and isn't at her constant beck and call. That's the man who stirs her emotions. Which leads us directly into the next principle. Number 6. Reclaiming your time. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is sacrificing their schedule, their priorities, and their life just to fit into hers. But here's the harsh truth. A man who doesn't value his own time will never be valued by a woman, period. If you're always available, always dropping your plans, always waiting for her call, You're teaching her that her time is more valuable than yours. And once she takes your time for granted, the respect is gone, and when respect is gone, so are you. In today's dating world, women are used to men bending over backward, men who line up to please them, men who sacrifice everything for just a sliver of attention. But here's the reality. Women don't respect men who are always available. They respect men who are focused, men who are building, men who are driven by purpose. And sometimes that means being confident enough to say, "No, I can't make it tonight, I have other plans." That one statement communicates volumes. It shows her that your time is valuable, that you're not rearranging your entire life just to fit into hers. And something incredible happens when you start putting your own life first. Suddenly, she stops taking your time for granted, and instead, she begins chasing your time. She starts wondering when you'll be available, respecting your schedule, and valuing your presence in a way she never did before. And this shift is where the balance of power begins to change completely. She's beginning to realize that you're no longer the man who drops everything the moment she snaps her fingers. When you reclaim control of your time, you naturally reclaim your sense of power. And with that power comes respect. Don't hesitate to make her work for your attention, because attention that comes too easily loses its value. A man who treats his time as sacred is the kind of man women are drawn to, the kind they fight to be around. Now, this leads us straight into the next principle, the reciprocity rule. This is where countless men go wrong. They pour in everything, their time, their energy, their attention only, to receive almost nothing back. Maybe a few half-hearted texts, maybe some excuses, or worse, maybe she's still out entertaining other guys. The harsh truth. If you're not getting the same effort in return, you're being played. And the toughest pill to swallow is this. It's your fault. Why? Because you're teaching her that giving you the bare minimum is acceptable. You're signaling that scraps are enough for you. And as long as you accept them, she'll keep handing them out. Women are masters of effort management. They know exactly how much to give to keep you interested without giving too much of themselves. Think about it. You believe she's too busy to reply, too busy to plan. Wrong. She's simply prioritizing someone else. And here's the kicker. She only does that because you've shown her she can. If you accept crumbs, that's all you'll ever get. It's time to change the script. Stop being overly accommodating. If she's not matching your effort, you don't double yours, you pull back. It's that simple. Yet most men make the mistake of doing the opposite. They think the answer is to try harder, give more, chase faster. But what happens when you do that? You teach her that she can give even less. Instead, let her feel your absence. That silence, that space, that sudden shift, it speaks volumes. Women respect men who set the standard. Men who won't tolerate one-sided energy. Men who are unafraid to walk away when effort isn't returned. That's how you take your power back. Picture this. You've been dating a woman for a few weeks. At first, she's all in texting, planning, showing clear interest. But as time passes, her effort starts fading. Suddenly, you're always the one initiating, always reaching out, always planning. And what do you get back? A couple of lukewarm replies, maybe some excuses about being too busy. Most guys in that moment panic. They push harder, text more, chase desperately, hoping to reignite what's fading. But here's what you should really do. Stop. Pull back. Stop texting. Stop planning. Stop chasing. Give her space to notice your absence. If she cares, she feel that shift and step forward. If she doesn't, she fade away completely. And that's exactly what you want. Because a woman who doesn't reciprocate your energy will never truly prioritize you. And let's be honest, why invest in someone who only sees you as a convenience? After understanding how rejection can actually be a hidden blessing, let's go deeper into why it's one of the most powerful teachers in your journey. If a woman rejects you, it doesn't mean you've failed, and it doesn't mean you're not worthy. It simply means she didn't see your value in the first place. And that's her problem, not yours. Why? Because rejection, when you look at it with the right mindset, is never really a setback. It's a wake-up call. It's an opportunity to grow stronger, sharper, and more resilient. In fact, rejection is the very thing that pushes you to level up. When she turns you down, she's unintentionally pointing out where your weaknesses lie and showing you exactly where your power can truly begin. Instead of breaking you, rejection gives you the chance to reevaluate yourself, to grow, and to move forward with someone who will genuinely value you. And here's the key. Rejection does not define you, it refines you. It forces you to strip away illusions, to see yourself clearly, and to become the best version of who you are meant to be. The truth that few men want to accept is this: rejection is part of the game. You won't win them all, and that's perfectly fine. The reality is that most women will reject you. Not because there's something wrong with you, but because they're chasing their own agendas. They're looking for what they believe is the highest value man available at the moment. If you don't fit that profile in their eyes, they'll move on without hesitation. And you know what? You shouldn't care. It's her loss, not yours. So stop viewing rejection as an attack on your worth. Start seeing it as a mirror. Ask yourself, what is this rejection showing me? Was I too available? Did I lack clear boundaries? Was I chasing too hard? Rejection exposes your blind spots, but instead of letting it crush you, use it to rebuild yourself stronger than before. This is exactly where the Stoic mindset, the philosophy behind Mind of Stoic, becomes essential. A Stoic man doesn't react emotionally to rejection. He doesn't spiral into self-pity. Instead, he remains calm, analyzes the situation logically, and asks, what lesson is here for me? Because in truth, rejection is freedom. It frees you from wasting time and energy on someone who is never truly meant to see your worth. Think about it. Every time a woman ghosts you, cancels on you, or tells you she's not ready for a relationship, that's not a loss, it's a blessing. She's just cleared your path, making room for someone better. Someone who will actually appreciate and cherish what you bring to the table. So the next time you get rejected, don't sink into despair. Instead, fuel yourself with that energy and rise higher. Because here's the truth. The woman who rejects you today might end up chasing you tomorrow. If you keep growing, keep improving, and keep thriving, the greatest revenge against rejection isn't anger, bitterness, or desperation. It's success. When she sees you leveling up, living well, surrounded by high-value people, and moving forward with confidence, that's when she regrets letting you go. The calm presence she can rely on when everything else feels chaotic. Now, let's take that one step further. Because being her rock is powerful, but if you don't balance it with this next principle, you risk losing the very respect and desire you've built. When you remain grounded, steady, and unshaken, that's where your true strength shines. Imagine her emotions like crashing waves in the middle of a storm. While others get swept away, you stand tall, unflinching, unaffected by the chaos around you. And that calmness, that composure, is exactly what sets you apart. Once she realizes that you're the man who doesn't waver, the one who offers stability instead of adding to her storms, you suddenly become irreplaceable in her eyes. Every challenge, every emotional whirlwind she goes through, will eventually guide her back to you. Why? Because you've become her safe harbor, the anchor she can count on when everything else feels uncertain. And that's the role only a high-value man can truly play. But here's the reality check. The very thing that makes you strong can lose its value if you ignore one powerful truth: the scarcity principle. The cold, undeniable fact is this: the more available you make yourself, the less she values you. As harsh as it sounds, it's a rule you can't afford to forget if you want to remain her priority. Think about it for a moment. If she already knows that no matter what, you'll always be there waiting, where's the urgency? Why would she fight for your time, your attention, or your energy, when you're constantly giving them away for free? Women are instinctively drawn to men who have a life of their own, a mission, goals, and ambition. Men who are not just sitting by the phone, waiting for her to call. So if you're replying to every message in seconds, dropping everything at the snap of her fingers, you're silently telling her that your time isn't worth much. And if you don't value your own time, why should she? That's where creating scarcity becomes crucial. It doesn't mean ignoring her, it means respecting yourself enough to stop being at her beck and call. When you're not always available, when you have purpose and a life that demands your attention, something shifts. She starts wondering, what's he up to? Why isn't he always around? That curiosity pulls her in. It makes her invest more, prioritize you more, and value what you bring into her life. Scarcity breeds demand, and demand makes you irreplaceable. The bottom line: if you want to be her priority, stop acting like just another option. Start treating your time, your energy, and your attention as precious because they are. Respect yourself, set firm boundaries, and live on your terms. That's when the dynamic changes. That's when she realizes you're the man she can't afford to lose. And remember, this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Master your emotions. Guard your time. Build a life so fulfilling that she longs to be a part of it. That's what the Stoic mindset teaches. That's what we believe in here at Mind of Stoic. If this message resonates with you, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. By doing so, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping us reach more men who need this guidance. Together, let's spread the word and help more men rise to the level they deserve.